what if the end of the world didn't come through nuclear war, climate collapse, or zombie infection, but through happiness itself? That's the haunting premise of Vince Gilligan's Pluribus, a chilling and deeply thought-provoking sci-fi story that explores how a single scientific breakthrough meant to decode an alien signal led to humanity's downfall. But here's the twist. It wasn't death that destroyed humanity. It was bliss. In this breakdown, we'll get into what caused the apocalypse in Pluribus, how the virus spread so fast, and the terrifying meaning behind a world that ended not with fear, but with a smile. So let's start from the beginning, the moment the end began. The series opens with a group of astronomers staring in disbelief at a computer monitor. They've just detected a strange microwave signal, originating from somewhere deep in space, roughly 600 light-years away. At first, it seems like another random cosmic anomaly, until one of them notices a peculiar pattern buried in the data. It's Morse code, but when they decode it, it's not a message in words, it's a genetic sequence, specifically an RNA sequence. Something alive, or at least something that wants to be. That one discovery changes everything. The scientists, driven by curiosity and perhaps a touch of arrogance, decide to replicate the RNA into DNA to see what happens. They use viral vectors and inject it into lab rats to observe the results. For a while, nothing seems out of the ordinary. The rats behave normally, eat, sleep, and run on their wheels. But then, something strange happens. One of the scientists finds a rat motionless in its cage. It looks dead, no movement, no response. But when she picks it up, bam! The rat bites her hand. The virus has jumped species. She becomes patient zero, and within hours, humanity's fate is sealed. Now, here's where Pluribus becomes terrifying. Not because of gore or violence, but because of its concept. The virus doesn't kill. It doesn't rot the body or melt organs. Instead, it rewires the brain. It sterilizes the mind emotionally, making those infected feel nothing but happiness. No sadness, no fear, no anger, no grief. Just constant artificial bliss. In other words, it erases the emotional contrast that makes us human. Imagine that. A world full of people smiling while society burns down around them. Parents watching their homes collapse with serenity. Soldiers abandoning missions mid-war because they feel fine. That's what Pluribus explores. The horror of losing meaning in a world where everything feels good. But how does this virus spread so quickly? The show paints a grim picture. It starts small, with patient zero infecting her coworker through a kiss. He becomes infected and does the same to others. The virus transmits through saliva, making intimate contact, even a simple touch or shared object, potentially deadly. And just like that, humanity's strongest bonds, love, affection, empathy, become its downfall. As the infection grows, the show reveals disturbing scenes, crowds of infected people swabbing their mouths, collecting their saliva, and placing it into vials, as if following some subconscious command. They don't act out of malice. They're driven by instinct. The virus, we learn, has encoded not only happiness, but also self-replication. The infected want to share their bliss with others. They contaminate water sources, air filters, and even medical test kits designed to detect the virus, ensuring that anyone trying to diagnose it becomes infected too. And soon, chaos spreads faster than any military or government can contain. But here's the haunting irony. Most of the deaths that follow aren't directly caused by the virus. Instead, they come from the collapse that follows. Pilots infected mid-flight forget to land. Nuclear technicians smile as alarms blare. Entire cities lose power because no one bothers to fix anything anymore. Society doesn't fall in flames. It simply forgets to care. The show brilliantly uses this to explore one central theme. What happens when humanity's greatest emotional flaw, its inability to be content, gets fixed? We've always chased happiness, right? But Pluribus flips that dream into a nightmare. What if true happiness meant losing everything else? Passion, curiosity, empathy, fear, even love. Without pain, there's no growth. Without conflict, no reason to create. Without sadness, joy means nothing. But Vince Gilligan, the mastermind behind Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, never makes things that simple. He loves moral grayness, cause and effect, and unintended consequences. And Pluribus is no different. Because beneath the horror and sci-fi, there's a tragic truth about humanity's nature. We're always looking for answers. We always poke at things we don't understand. And in Pluribus, that curiosity, the same trait that made us invent space travel and technology, becomes our undoing. The virus itself acts like a mirror. It doesn't come from an evil alien race or a malevolent god. It's not even a weapon. It's just information. A random message, drifting through the void, waiting for someone curious enough to decode it. And when humanity finally does, it pays the ultimate price. The infection scenes in the show are eerily calm. There's no screaming, no panic, just smiles, people hugging, laughing, and quietly walking into oblivion. And that's what makes Pluribus so haunting. The apocalypse doesn't come with fire or brimstone. It comes with peace. A world that feels too good to be true literally collapses under the weight of its own happiness. As the episodes unfold, we start seeing the survivors' stories. A handful of immune individuals who struggle not just to survive, but to stay sane in a world that's gone completely euphoric. They're surrounded by smiling faces, people who don't fight back, who don't feel pain, who just accept everything. Imagine trying to survive in a world where everyone else has achieved perfect peace, except you. The loneliness, the guilt, the unbearable silence, it's chilling. There's also the lingering question. Where did the signal come from? Was it truly alien? Or could it be something more sinister, something man-made that we've forgotten? The show leaves breadcrumbs suggesting the signal might not have been a coincidence. A few characters speculate that the message was sent intentionally, maybe as a cosmic test, or a warning from another civilization that suffered the same fate. Whatever the truth, it doesn't change the outcome. Humanity is undone by its own desire to understand. By the time the final episodes roll around, the world is a shell of itself, entire nations crumble, communication collapses, and even the few unaffected survivors start to lose hope. The show doesn't rely on jump scares, it relies on silence. Streets full of smiling corpses, empty cities echoing with laughter, and sunsets that no one bothers to watch anymore because beauty has lost all meaning. So when you think about it, Pluribus isn't really a story about a virus. It's a story about meaning, about how emotions, good or bad, are what make life worth living. Because when you strip them away, when you take away fear, pain, grief, and sadness, what's left isn't paradise. It's emptiness disguised as joy. And that's the ultimate tragedy of Pluribus. Humanity didn't die screaming, it died smiling. So what do you think? Was the signal truly alien? Or was it just a reflection of humanity's endless hunger for meaning? A metaphor for how far we'll go to chase happiness, even if it kills us? Let me know your thoughts below, because maybe the scariest part of Pluribus isn't the virus, it's how familiar it feels.